NASCAR just quietly killed one of its biggest experiments. After years of dragging the Clash to a football stadium in Los Angeles and a half-mile bull ring in North Carolina, the sport is running back to where it all started. And if you know anything about NASCAR's relationship with change, you know this move says more than it looks like on paper. Here's what's happening, straight and simple. The 2027 Clash is heading back to Daytona International Speedway. That's according to a report from The Athletic dropped on July 24. The race is set for February 13, 2027, 8 days before the Daytona 500, which lands on February 21. That gap matters. It's not the 2-week buffer NASCAR has used the last few years. It's the old rhythm. Clash 1 weekend, then straight into Daytona 500 week. This isn't new ground for the track. Daytona hosted the Clash every year from 1979 all the way to 2010. Then NASCAR started experimenting a road course layout in 2021, a stint in the LA Coliseum, then Bowman Gray Stadium, with the 2026 race even got knocked off schedule by a winter storm. Now, the wandering appears to be over, at least for a year. To understand why this hits different, you need to understand what the Clash was originally built for. It wasn't just an exhibition race. It was the unofficial starting gun for Speedweeks, the moment fans and teams treated as the real return of NASCAR after a long offseason. For 3 decades, that identity was tied directly to Daytona. Then NASCAR decided nostalgia wasn't enough. They wanted spectacle. They wanted new eyeballs. So they built a temporary track inside the LA Coliseum, put stock cars in a stadium built for football and track and field, and tried to turn the Clash into appointment television for a market that barely watches oval racing. It worked for a moment. The visuals were wild, the crossover appeal was real, but spectacle and sustainability are two different things. Bowman Gray brought grit and short track chaos, but weather delays and logistical headaches followed. And now, with a return to Daytona locked in for 2027, NASCAR is sending a signal to its garage, its broadcast partners, and its fan base. The flashy detour is being reconsidered. For teams, this is a scheduling and preparation shift too. Daytona is a super speedway. It punishes bad pack racing decisions and rewards drafting strategy, not short track bumper battles. Crews have to rebuild their entire mindset depending on where this race lives. Let's get into what this actually means strategically, because this is bigger than nostalgia. First, risk management. NASCAR spent several years chasing buzz over structure. The Coliseum was a marketing win, but it wasn't a repeatable one. Bowman Gray brought authenticity, but weather and logistics kept interfering with the show. Daytona removes both problems. It's a facility NASCAR already owns the operational blueprint for. Fewer unknowns, fewer excuses, fewer headlines about postponed short track chaos. Second, the compressed schedule. 8 days before the 500 instead of 14 is not a small detail. That tighter window puts more pressure on teams. Less time to adjust after a rough Clash performance. Less time to recover from a wrecked primary car. It raises the stakes of the Clash itself because mistakes now bleed closer into Daytona 500 week. Third, and this is the part serious fans should be watching. This could be read as NASCAR walking back its stadium spectacle strategy without fully admitting it. They're not killing exhibition experimentation forever, but putting the Clash back at Daytona on a compressed calendar that mirrors the old Speedweeks format, tells you the sanctioning body, value, structure, and tradition more than it's publicly saying. Is this smart? In terms of operational reliability? Yes. Daytona is a known quantity. It reduces variables. Is it a little bit of a retreat? Also yes. And retreats in professional sports always come with a cost to the bold new era narrative. A league tried to sell fans just a few years earlier. Expect to sell fans just a few years earlier. Expect a split reaction and a loud one. Traditionalist fans, the ones who grew up watching the Clash open Speedweeks at Daytona, are going to treat this like a victory lap. For them, this isn't just a schedule change. It's validation that the sport strayed too far from its roots. On the other side, fans who love the Coliseum spectacle or the short track brawling at Bowman Gray may see this as NASCAR playing it safe, retreating to comfort instead of continuing to chase new audiences. Media coverage will likely frame this as a return to tradition story, but the sharper analysts will point out what we just broke down. This is as much about reducing operational risk as it is about honoring history. Here's where this could go. Best case, Daytona hosts a clean, high-drama Clash that reestablishes it as the true kickoff to Speedweeks. Ratings stabilize, logistics run smooth, and NASCAR quietly uses this as proof that combining tradition with a tighter, more dramatic pre-500 schedule is the winning formula going forward. Worst case, the move gets read as an admission of failure for the stadium era experiments, and NASCAR faces pressure to justify why it spent years and resources chasing spectacle venues it's now stepping away from. If attendance or ratings don't spike back at Daytona, critics will say the sport lost years chasing a gimmick. Either way, 2027 becomes a referendum on which version of the Clash NASCAR actually believes in long term. So here's the real question. Did NASCAR just correct a mistake, or did they lose their nerve on a bold idea that needed more time? Drop your take in the comments. Daytona traditionalist or Coliseum spectacle believer? This is the debate the whole garage is going to be having by Speedweeks 2027. If you want breakdowns like this before anyone else covers it, make sure you're subscribed to SportsWire USA. We're just getting started.